Hey Radnor Runners! Today's workout is all about lower body stability. When your ankles, knees, and hips are stable, you'll have a stronger, more efficient stride, and you'll be way less likely to get injured. I highly recommend training barefoot today. This will allow your feet to feel the ground and allow your joints to move in their natural range of motion. First up, we have a toe lift calf raise. Lift your toes as high up off the floor as you can, just your toes, and then press into the balls of your feet as you lift your heels high. Remember to keep your belly button drawn in slightly, your glutes tight, and your kneecaps pulled up towards your hips. This move helps to strengthen both the top and bottom of the foot. Watch that your ankles don't roll out to the pinky toe side of your foot, but instead press up right into the middle toe. Our second move is a squat calf raise. Combining these two moves ensures that you control the entire range of motion. Think about pressing into your squat instead of just dropping. Then continue to press all the way up onto your toes. Keep your glutes tight during the entirety of this move. For a single leg squat, dangle one foot slightly above the floor. Reach your hips back as you bend your knee. Try to keep your knee tracking right over the center of the foot. Our knees love to cave inward, as you can tell by my knees kind of bobbing in and out, but try to really press your knee out to the side a little bit for a nice smooth track right down the center of the foot. I'm going to show you a few reps from the side view just so that you can see that my standing foot remains on the floor the entire time. Our heels like to pop up, so the more you reach your hips back as you go down, the less that will happen. For hip dip, hip hike, I'm placing my hands on my hips just so that you can see exactly what's going on. Stand on one foot and then push your standing hip out to the side. Then squeeze everything in back to midline. You'll notice that my lifted leg hip drops and then lifts higher than the standing leg. Three-way deadlifts are one of my all-time favorite moves for stability and balance. Start by standing on one leg and reach for the outside of your ankle. Then reach for the middle, and then reach for the inside of your ankle. I'll show you the side view so that you can tell that I'm hinging from the hip, sending my other leg straight back behind me. Try to keep the body in one straight line. It's okay to touch your toes to the floor when you come back up to standing. You have the option of using a dumbbell for your rotational squat. Take your feet a little wider than your hips, and as you squat, rotate your torso, bringing the dumbbell to the outside of one hip. Keep the foot of the side you're rotating toward completely on the ground. You can let the other heel pop up as you rotate. Try to shift as much of your weight onto that one leg as possible. For rotational lunge, take a big step forward, then rotate one direction, to the other direction, back to center, and push back to standing. Maintain a nice tall posture and an open chest. Try to keep your front knee centered over the foot instead of dipping inward and outward. Finally, I'll show you some variations you can do in a hinge on one leg. Start by working your way up to a 30-second hold with no movement. Then we can start to play around with changing our center of gravity. Try moving one arm out to the side, then the other. You can move both arms to one side and then the other way. Try to move your arms all the way forward and all the way back. You can let your arms swing with gravity. And one of the toughest variations is doing little arm circles. I recommend adding these moves as a warm-up before a run. Keep practicing. I know some of these moves can be incredibly tricky. You can do as many or as few reps as you need until your form starts to break down, you lose balance, or you hit muscular fatigue. I hope these moves were helpful for your training. I'm Jules B, and I'll see you next week for another Radnor Run cross-training workout.